Just another trade review on how I performed. This is will consist of my trading on Tuesday and Wednesday. Excuse me, September 5th and 6th. Um, September 5th, I only traded one stock, which is the stock that you see here now. It's pretty simple and clear. There was no other stocks performing after the holiday, Labor Day. Um, and this was like, I literally didn't barely even watch the market at all because there was barely anything up um, that day. And around like 7 a.m., I seen that this stock was perking up or spiking. And I think it was up like 120%, 150% on the day. And if you look at the yearly chart, which I'm going to try to get you right here, give you a close-up on the yearly chart. This is the yearly chart, as you can see here. You see that it had a one and done, where it spiked up, came crashing back down. It kind of reminded me of the Doji Day 1 strategy that Kurtani explained in his trading tickers too. And then right here you see it's just a big panic down. Then if you zoom in closer, you see that it spikes, comes back down, spikes, comes right back down same day, spikes, come right back down the same day. This one it was either down, then up, then down again. Same thing here. So I already knew what this was going to be. I didn't try to play a long. I wasn't even interested in a long. Not at all. And coming in today, there were still shares available to short. So I was like, to be honest, I had to be honest with myself. And I asked myself, I said, Sonny, what do you think this trade's going to do? Like, let's be real. Be real with yourself. Let's not be long biased. Let's look at the odds, the probabilities. And the probabilities told me, man, this shit's going to come crashing down. And I saw that there was shares available short. It went up like 120 on the day or something like that, 128. I got in at $1.03, $1.04. I thought I got in $1.02, but I shorted with my 5K shares. I didn't want to go big size or anything like that. I just played it, and it perked up at first, and it went up to like $5.06 or 10 cents, 15 cents, somewhere around there. After $5.06 after I got in, I was down a couple $100, I think, and then I'm like half awake, half asleep, which is bad strategy, bad performance. But I kind of already knew where it was going to go. I believe I put in my stop loss order, and it just started fading. It went down to $2 and it went down under $1. Perked up a little bit, then went under $1. Then I stepped away from the computer for a little bit. I think I went to go use the restroom or take a shit, and I was watching it on my phone. By the time I got to my phone, it was down for my entry by 11, 12 cents. It was already down from 128. So I was using Stephen Duck's statistics that he told me at his first conference that he ever had, and it was basically if you ever see a stock go down, 20%, the chances of it coming back up is like 80%, and 20% it'll come back down. He did some statistics. If a stock goes down 50%, it's a 50% chance that it's going to go back up. 50% chance for 50% chance it's going to go back down. If it goes down 80%, there's an 80% chance that it's not going to go back up, and there's a 20% chance. He did some kind of statistic where he did that, where he did that statistic, and it made sense to me because I always saw it in the charts. I just didn't know the math, and it made sense So I took that and I ran with it, and I added that weapon to my arsenal, and it was down from 128 to when I got in a dollar, um, a dollar two three. So I was thinking, I'm like, I couldn't do the math in my head, but I know that's like over 25%. And um, typically, when I see a drawdown of over 10%, over 20%, that you got to be extra careful with that trade. So then when I started going under, when I shorted it and I put my stop loss in, I literally saw it going under a dollar. I said, okay, let me short in. If it doesn't go my way, I don't lose much. Then when it went down to 80 cents, 89 cents, I was like, yup, I know exactly what this is going to be. This is already down like 30 something percent, or close to 30%. And by the chart telling me what it's going to be, there's a high odds that even though I'm using Ducks statistics, I already know this is not going to come back. And then it just kept perking down. I mean, panicking down and panicking down. I was watching it here, and it hit 70, and I'm like, wow, I'm up a good amount. And I'm like, it looked like it's going to hit 60, and it just consolidated here, came back down, hit 60. I was like, wow. I said, you know what? I'm just going to give this all day. So honestly, I watched the market. No, I fell asleep. Honestly, I had just got off of work. I had did an overnight shift. I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna keep going up. I'm gonna go take my nap. When I wake up, I'm gonna check it out and put a order in to get out. Finally, when I woke up, I was up like 3K, over 3K. Um, I was up over 3K, and I got out like in the 46. I was gonna hit a market order just to get the hell out, but I was like, no, there's no need to. Let me order it. It might just keep going down. I did not expect it to continue going further than that because it looked like it was consolidating, but it went even down even more, another 6 cents, and I got out. Oh, it didn't hit 40 cents. That was today, but it went to 43 cents. That was a low of the day, and I got out, so I missed it by 3 cents, which is great. That's a great exit, but that was that trade. Today, as you can see, it just kept fading down some more. But I knew it was going to be a doji day one. I knew it was going to be just a perk up and come back down. And yeah, that's what it was. As you can see, I already gave back half of those gains today. That's something I need to improve on. But going into today is real simple. I'm going to try to make this real simple. FOXO. It was the same thing as the past few trades last week. It was me trying to panic dip buy or morning dip buy this shit, and it just never bounced. Wolf was talking about it in his trading therapy episode 6 about something about it where it was like you have to give it time to just let it panic down. And honestly, if you see right here, I chased the spike. I seen that it perked up, and I thought it was gonna spike some more. But that's not the way I trade. I don't anticipate it. I don't predict it. I anticipate it. So I thought it was gonna spike more, and that's the wrong way to think. You're not supposed to be thinking it's gonna do it. You gotta be like, okay, what are the odds? Not trying to tell myself, oh, it's gonna spike some more, or it might spike some more. So I got in here. It hit low day. I think I had a stop limit order, or it hit this pre-market low, and I think I hit a stop limit order. Got out. Then I was watching it. It didn't break lower than this point right here, and I gotta find a way to get rid of this because it's annoying me now. But it didn't break this point right here, so I got back in. It broke it, failed to cut losses. It spiked. I thought it would keep going. It broke again, cut, and I was just taking massive losses today. And then it started bouncing. I chased the bounce, thought it would hold. It wasn't holding, cut, and I'm like, you know what? Let me give this one more try. I got back in, and it perked up. I thought it would keep going higher. It didn't. Got out. Lost 2,100, 2,200 roughly. And Wolf just said, man, you got to give these stocks time to perk down. I placed multiple trades before the 945. I placed 3 trades. I longed it 3 times before 945, as you can see here. So that tells you I'm not waiting enough, and I got to just give it time. I got to give it time. You know, sometimes it happens before the 945, but right now, this market, we're not in a bull market right now. Overall, we may be, but right now, today, for the past 2 weeks, this strategy hasn't been working. So I just got to give it time. Then I traded ICCT. ICCT was spiking. It's had a big spike this morning. Wolf was talking about it in his live lesson. It pulled back, halted, and spiked up. And as it was spiking up, I ignored it. It was too late for me. I didn't want to touch it. I just didn't. It was too late for me. Then it was pulling back. I don't even know what where my mind was at on this trade. I don't even remember it. But I guess I tried to play the perk or the bounce. And it didn't bounce. And I had my stop limit order in. And I remember, I think my laptop was dying at the time. Yeah, my laptop was dying at the time. I remember now. And I put my stop limit order in. And one thing I've been struggling with is immediately putting my stop limit order right after I place the trade. I have to do that. And I placed my stop limit order in. And by the time I was like packing up my bags to go to a different location to charge my, my laptop, it immediately died. It immediately executed. And I was like, hey, fuck it. So then this trade here, NBSE, it was a spike like in the middle of the day, which I don't like to play because you don't really know what the hell is going to happen with these stocks. I don't know what's going on with this broker. Lately, it just hasn't been showing me what I want to see. But yeah, towards midday, it spiked at 11. And then it spiked at 11, and then on the consolidation, I was looking to get in. It perked up, broke past this previous high by 10 cents, pulled back, but it still held. I saw that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna place this trade, and I believe I knew I was getting in with too high because it's already like lower day is true support is at lower day. I'm getting in here, so I'm like, okay, I gotta play smart. So I believe I played, yes. I played it from this lower day right here, this lowest point of the consolidation, which was $1.94. I got in at $2.10. So I was risking roughly 16 cents, and that was bigger than what I wanted to risk. I don't even know the dollar amount on that. 0.16 times. Oh, so now you don't want to show me. I don't know how many shares that was, but I'll see right here. 2,380 times 2,380. So I was risking $380, which in paper trading I've been risking that much like it ain't nothing, but that's the wrong mindset. I need to improve on how my risk is. And I was listening into Trader Therapy chapter episode 6, and he was talking about how my max stop loss is just too high for just one trader, and I'm like, yeah, that reflects on me too because my shit's too high. I shouldn't be risking $500 per trade. Wolf was like, I was like, yeah, I need to improve it because I don't even have a max stop loss. I just be risking the highest at 500. I just be just risking whatever. And I said, you know what? Let me change it from 500 to 100. And he said, bro, if you got a $5,000 account, you need to be risking $50 per trade. I was like, what? That's crazy. He said, and then you go to your max once a month on a really good trade. And I was like, what? He's like, a small account, you need to be extra careful. So I'm just like, that's what I'm going to do. Got to improve. That's what I'm going to do. I got to improve. So, but before the fact, I had switched. I had my risk at 194. Then my patience started to decrease, and I didn't feel like waiting, so I just started risking from one of these points. I think it was right here or right here. It was one of these points where I moved it to, I think, $2, and I was in at $10. I mean, $2, and I was in at $2.10, and I longed it, and it consolidated, and then it started perking up, and it had this spike. And honestly, I didn't know how far this was gonna go because it was already so up so fucking much. So I'm like, I'm not playing a home run on this trade. I'm just not. And I knew $2 and the whole $1.50 marks are resistance point. I'm in at 210, $2.50 up ahead, and I didn't even look at the yearly chart, and I'll show you here. And I didn't even look at the indicators such as the float and all that. I haven't been looking at that for the past few weeks. I don't know why. As you can see here, one and done. This is a one and done chart. I don't think I was looking at this. Maybe I was. I don't recall that I did. So once it was getting near 250, to be honest, that the degenerate gambler in me was like, let that bitch ride. But I'm like, when I zoomed out, I had to keep reminding myself, like, bro, I don't know how much more do you expect, but you already missed the big run. So this will just be extra, but it's not even worth it. So once it hit, like, I already had my stop limit order, and once it hit like near 250, I switched my stop limit order from stop limit to limit, and that's why you see this red line. And I just saw the first number I saw, I clicked on it, and I saw it hit 44, and I was like, let me wait for 45 at extra penny. And I'm like, man, no, I can't even think like that. And you see it stopping at 250 because that's resistance. You see it pulled back right under 250 and had this red candlestick because that's resistance. So I was like, you're right under 250. That's resistance. It might not break through, and it's gonna start pulling back from here. And I got out, and once I got out, it started pulling back to 237, and I was like, see, there you go. That's resistance. Either psychologically people are getting out, and I need to beat them to the punch, or there's actual real resistance that I'm not aware of. Looking at the yearly chart, and there probably is. I'm just like not even seeing it. Yeah, roughly right here. I don't know. It's too choppy for me to even tell. So I got out, and I'm like, man, I can't be thinking like that. I can't be trying to get an extra penny. And then I got out for a $737 gain, and it kept going. And I did not expect it to keep going any higher, to go to 316. And as you can see it, the highest point of this candlestick was 275 and pulled right back down, because whole dollar, half dollar, and quarter marks are resistance. And when you go to sub penny, I mean not sub penny, but sub dollar, the 10-cent mark becomes resistance. The 1 penny mark becomes resistance. Half a penny mark becomes resistance. So as you can see, the evidence is right here. Resistance right here, resistance right here. It tried to go past 275 again, pulled back. That's a quarter mark. Pulled back again, and then boom, it broke through. And then right here, it broke past $3. But if it was in that moment where you're watching it, it probably struggled right under 3. And then because that's that whole dollar mark, and then it went to 315, and that's and here's another lesson that I learned, like in the beginning of trading, like my first few years of trading, my first year maybe or two. Anytime you see a stock breaking past these whole dollar, half dollar marks, it's not a real breakout unless it passes passes it by 5 cents. So like it broke past, if it goes to $3, it has to go to $3.05 to be considered a real breakout past that whole dollar mark, half dollar mark. And then for it to continue going further, it has to go past it by 15 cents. And that's just a statistic that people have recognized, and they play. So looking back now, you see it went to 315, but didn't go any further on this candlestick high a day. Well, it went to 316 right here. I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it does that. This is telling me 315, but it's saying 316 here. But if it doesn't break past that 315 mark convincingly, then it won't go any higher. And as you can see here, 293 is right under that whole dollar mark. But when I saw it get into that 250, I was like, bro, I'm out. I don't want to get any more. And yeah, it's breaking high a day, but I don't care. I don't care. Clearly, it had resistance overhead, but still, I don't want to play that kind of trade. And that was it. And that was my biggest gain for the day. Every other trade was a loss. FOXO, I'm not really tripping on trades like this because I know for sure that sooner or later I'm gonna take this out of my. I'm gonna fix this. All these trying it over and over again. Sooner or later, I'm gonna take that out of my trading. It's just a matter of time. But you know, that was my best trade. But I didn't do anything special on NBSE to make the money or to be profitable on that trade. I honestly didn't do anything special. All I did was I recognized it was holding. I had no idea on whether it would keep going up or not. Had no idea. If this chart will load, you'll see it was consolidating. And I said, okay, this has a possibility that it will go up, but it's not that high. And I happened to end up on the right side of profitability, even though the profitability was low. As you can see here, go back to the 1 minute chart and zoom in. But as you can see here, it was consolidating. I got in, even though odds were low. I'm like, I got in. It's holding. I've got in. I got in with my risk, ready to execute on its own. Once it breaks under, I had a wide risk so that it wouldn't execute. And then I'm like, I didn't want to put a tight risk because it was like on my stop to limit order, because I wanted it to be wide so that even if it goes down more than what I expect, I'm still getting executed. Like a killer field kind of situation. And I did nothing special. I don't even consider this a successful trade or a great lesson to learn off of, because after I traded it, I thought about it. I'm like, what did I do right on this trade? Nothing. I just played this trade at how I played every trade. Put my stop limit order, longed it, waited, played it, let it do its thing. If it broke under, I'm getting executed. If it spikes, I'm getting out. And it spiked. I didn't have any control of that. The only thing I did good in this trade was I recognized the situation. I entered, I had my stop limit order in. I had my risk in. and then I executed to get out. If I kept holding, yeah, I would have made more money, but that would be a trading error because I told myself to get out and I got out. What if this stock spiked and then came right back down and all the gains that I just had, I gave it up and more? What if it spiked up here and then massively panicked down? So, yeah, I could have made more money, but did you follow your rules? Did you follow your discipline? And that's what matters at the end. And that's what I did. So, there's a lot to learn on this long trade, but there's also a lot to learn on this trade right here. There's a lot to learn here, and the lesson here is fucking cut. Don't give it extra time. Cut. Don't chase. Cut. And give it time to uh break these lows and make new lows. Don't chase it and then cut. You know, when it's time to try to play the long, cut. Because from here, if I just waited here, I would have had one. I would have had one loss on this trade, and I would have been green on the day. But instead, I'm red on the day. So there's a lot to learn. And even ICC, it was just a simple. It was just a simple. It was a simple situation where, hey, I'm playing the bounce, got in, then it worked, got out. Why couldn't I do that with FOXX? I got in, put my stop in here, and then it worked, got out. Maybe I was tired of trading. Maybe I was done for the day, exhausted. Mentally exhausted after all these losses. Took a step back, and I was able to recognize NBSE the next day. So a lot of lessons to learn here. Yeah, man. So lesson here.